guys, and welcome to a weekly watch, as we haven't had one in a couple of weeks, guys. So I'm going to take you through everything I've watched in the last 2 weeks to see what you think, see if you have any comments. I'll get rattled right into it so as not to keep you too long, because I know my videos are a little bit long, but if I did a 5 to 10 minute review for each movie, imagine how many more videos it would be. So I try to save you by one a week. So guys, we started on the 2nd with Butcher's Crossing, which is a new Nicolas Cage movie. I think this one came straight to streaming. It wasn't theatrically released. If it was, I'm not aware of it. So this is about a young lad who went to Harvard. He dropped out. He decides he wants to experience, I suppose, a bit of real life. He goes out west and he ends up working with this very experienced, what is he? A buffalo hunter. He desperately wants to land like this big herd of buffalo that no one's ever done before, that the payout would be immense. And this movie follows them meeting up and the actual journey itself. They have another couple of people they bring with them. Now, you can see there I've given this 2.5 out of 5. I feel I may have been a little bit harsh. This is actually a good movie. I just found it very slow and very draggy. Nicolas Cage is fantastic in it, as he is in everything. He's got a completely shaved head in this, which is a completely new look for him. I'm going to take that up to a 3, guys, because I think I've been unfair. Although, let me scroll down to let you see. Well, all of those people haven't, oh, they want to watch, they haven't watched, sorry. So one person who's given it a 2 out of 5. I don't think it deserves a 2 or even a 2.5. I think a 3's a better. It's just, I think I maybe was expecting something a bit more survivalish than it was. This is a lot to do with the hunting and the aftermath. I'm not a fan of hunting, it has to be said. I'm not going to get political, but Nicolas Cage is fantastic in it, but I would watch it if you're a fan of Nicolas Cage. Otherwise, you could probably give that one a miss. So what have we got next? Till Murder Do Us Part, Suring versus Haysom. Right, this is a true crime documentary that's on Netflix at the moment. I believe it's in 3 parts. This is about a relationship between a very manipulative, very well-spoken lady. Jens Suring is the name of the guy. He's German, and Haysom, I can't remember what her first name is. So basically, if you know the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, where I think the documentary was called Mommy Dead and Dearest, there's a little Robin looking in the window. Hello. He's waiting for me to feed him. He's twitching his tail now that I'm looking. Our birds know what to do to get us to feed them. Right, I'm getting distracted. So this is where the woman manipulates the guy who's crazy about them to kill their parents. Now, this never really gets to the bottom of was it him or was it her, because they blame one another. My personal opinion is it was her. I feel he may have been involved, but I think she's trying to land all the blame on him, which isn't the case. They both served lengthy prison sentences for this and they're both now released. It's interesting. It's a good true crime documentary. If you like that kind of thing, it's a lot of like court stuff, but it is really interesting. It's one of the better ones, so I would recommend that one if you're interested. On the 4th, there we go, Hell House LLC Origins. I've given it a 2.5 out of 5. That won't go down well. Let me show you other people's. 9 people that I know have watched it. More than 9 people have watched it. They're just not on. Oh, right. Monty wasn't a big fan. Joshua, Mike, good for you, Mike. Right, what can I say? I adore found footage movies. It's my favourite genre of horror movies. I really enjoy the first Hell House movie. I was hearing so much buzz about this. I was really looking forward to watching it, and I had people say, oh, you must watch this, and I was really looking forward to it, so I went in really wanting to enjoy it. Now, I don't know if that's affected my viewpoint. I don't find clowns particularly scary. There was one part of this that I felt a little bit, oh, that's a bit creepy, which was regards noise outside a door when no one was there. Now, that's my spooky paranormal shit. I hate that. Well, no, I love that kind of thing. That's what scares me. That was a bit freaky, but jump scares were really heavily made up. People appear in your face and stuff like that don't do anything for me, even if I wasn't expecting it. Jumping doesn't equate to being frightened, it's just a natural reaction. There was another clip of a face quite far away. I won't give any fucking hell, can I get a fucking break? Honestly. Honest to God, every single time I put this on, which is once a week, people, that fucking phone rings every week. Sometimes I leave it in, sometimes I don't. So much to do today, so much I have to get done. I won't get to edit this for quite a while, so it's like, oh, just give me a break for 5 minutes. So I wasn't particularly frightened by this movie. I was expecting to be, and it didn't work for me. That's not saying I think it was a bad movie. It was badly made, it was badly acted. It wasn't. The performances were good, the cinematography was good. I just didn't feel that fear that everyone else is feeling. It is, as Movie Worm Jordan said, it is, you know, fear's a relative thing. Everyone's going to be affected by something different. And I was very much, it feels, in the minority of my feelings on this one. Most people absolutely loved this. I just wasn't in that camp. I thought it was okay. I was just a bit disappointed by it. But I would still recommend that you check it out because, like I say, I'm in the minority with that. So what was next? Naiad. Right, this was good. So Naiad is a true story. It stars my favourite, Jodie Foster, and Annette Bening. This is a story of an athlete called Diane Naiad who swam, what was it, 110-mile open ocean swim from Cuba to Florida. She was 60. This woman tried to do this for, actually, right, she wasn't 60. It said when she was 60, she commits her life to trying to do it. She doesn't actually do it at the age of 60, but this is a true story. It follows this woman who's incredibly ballsy, incredibly brave, a bit bossy, a bit overbearing, it has to be said. Jodie Foster plays her long-term friend. I think they used to be partners like a long time ago, and then they just are friends. She sort of supports her, helps her. She acts as her coach, and it covers the actual swim, the swim attempt. Things that go wrong, the relationship between the two friends, and the tension, and the fact that Diane seems to be expecting everyone else to put their life on hold to help her realise her dream. This is a true story, as they say, and it is interjected with real footage of the actual real swim and the actual real person, and it's spot on. Parts they show, they then show the real bit, and it's like, oh my god, you've got that so right. Fantastically acted, really good movie. Maybe a bit slow for a lot of people. It's just a story about one woman's swim, her determination to do this. It's more about relationship and grit and support and all that stuff. I adore Jodie Foster. I don't see her enough in front of the camera these days, so it was really nice to see her acting again. So 3.5 out of 5 for that for me. On the next evening, I don't even remember this, Mother May I? Oh, right, yes, I do remember it. It's my boy Kyle Gallner. How could I not remember it? So this one was weird, but it was good. So Kyle Gallner has recently lost his mother. She has left him her house. It's like this big, beautiful cabin in the middle, and when I say cabin, it's big and fancy. It's in the middle of nowhere. He was estranged from his mother. They haven't seen each other in a very, very, very long time. I think she abandoned him when he was a boy. And he goes with his partner to this house, and strange stuff starts to happen to his partner. I don't want to say any more than that. It's all about their relationship. It's about his relationship with his mother, or lack of, his desires about needing a mother or not needing a mother. What does it say? Emmett enters into a nightmarish game of therapy with his wife, Anya, who has inexplicably taken on the persona of his estranged and recently deceased mother. Well, there we go. So she just starts to act really funny. Obviously, he doesn't have much knowledge of the person his mother was because he hasn't seen her since he was a child. But this is a very strange movie, but I really enjoyed it. The performances in it are excellent, and I loved how they ended it. I thought how they ended it was brilliant. 3.5 out of 5. There's, oh dear, I think am I like on my own with really enjoying this one. Dan gave it a 3. Whoever Kimley is gave it a 3.5, the same as me, and other people there gave it a 2. So as you see, relative. Some people didn't particularly like it. It worked for me. I enjoyed it. Some people may find it a little bit slow. It's very drama based. Certainly wouldn't. It's not a horror movie, so don't go into it thinking that. Home for Rent was the one I watched on the following evening. 3 out of 5. I have to look at these synopses to actually remember what the hell the movie's about. So, film inspired by true events. When the tenants are members of a dark cult, they terrorise the homeowner looking for their next prey to sacrifice. Okay, so this is a true story. Right, I have a feeling this movie is Thai. I do apologise if I'm wrong. It's a good movie, it's decent, it's worth a watch. It's not standout, it's not absolutely amazing, it's just a solid enough little watch. The film is very loosely based on true events. Not everything that you see in the film actually happened, but it is a bit creepy. The whole thing about cult and devil worshipping and stuff is a bit creepy. They move into that, for their financial situation changes, they have to live, I mean, how poor must you have to have two flipping houses, really? So they move into their smaller condo and they rent out their larger house to this family who just are freaky. And that's where we continue. I'll not tell you anymore. It's just okay. Decent enough little watch. So on the following evening I watched Quiz Lady. This is one I've been wanting to see for ages. Now Sandra Oh's in it. I love Sandra Oh. And unlike most people, I really actually like Awkwafina. So they play two sisters. Awkwafina is obsessed with this quiz show, which she's watched every single day since she was a child. Brilliant but tightly wound game show obsessed young woman Anne and her estranged train wreck of a sister Jenny must work together to help cover their mother's gambling debts. Awkwafina's dog is kidnapped, and this is the only thing that makes her agree to enter this quiz show to try to win the money to pay her mother's debts to get this dog back. And it basically follows her relationship with her sister, her own discovery of herself, and obviously her being on this quiz show. Will Ferrell plays the quiz show host. He's like really beloved, everyone loves him. She comes up against this guy who's like the champion at the time, who's an absolute arse. He's a smarmy arse, he really is. But I felt it was really well acted. It was a really sweet film. I really liked the characters. I liked the relationship between the two sisters. I enjoyed it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I would recommend. If you're annoyed by Awkwafina, possibly not, because she's in it a lot and she is pretty typical. She's quite dialed back. She's quite quiet and shy and reserved in this. But I think if you're not a fan of her, you're really probably not going to enjoy this. So where are we? I rewatched Saw X with my husband. So this is the other one alongside Elle House LLC that I just have very different opinions on. I watched it again now that it's streaming for one reason. Let me just open this up so you can see what other people thought. I'll give you a scroll there. David Johnson, sort of on par with me. I think I give it a 3, but I will admit a lot of that is because I am a massive fan of Saw. So I wanted my husband to watch it because I wanted to see what he thought, because I couldn't really, I couldn't understand why everyone is rating it so high. And I felt exactly the same watching it the second time. Now I'm gonna spoil here. If you haven't seen Saw X, don't watch for the next. I'll put a little timestamp here with where to skip to. So the ending was terrible. When the guy turns up to save the evil henchwoman, you can see coming a mile off what's going to happen. You know how it's going to end. That shouldn't be the case with a Saw film. You shouldn't be able to see all this coming. The main woman's acting was atrocious. Her accent was worse. She was like a Scooby-Doo villain. She was so stereotypical. She just wasn't, she didn't bring anything frightening. She was just really irritating to me. The trap with the brain situation, you can't dig out a section of your brain and not have it affect you in some way, like your speech, your face should drop. I take you back to Hannibal with the Ray Liotta scene. Nothing like that happened, and this guy pulled out a big section of brain. How the hell did he carve a perfect circle in the back of his head without looking? The list goes on and on. I liked the trap with the girl with the leg. I thought that was good. I liked the one with the girl hanging with the mallet and the radio, like the radiotherapy machine blowing. The one that he imagined with the eyeballs. You don't come out of a saw trap with a few broken fingers. You're near death or seriously maimed. So it would have been really easy to just, okay, breaking your fingers isn't easy, but in comparison to other saw traps, what the hell was that all about? I know it didn't happen, but it was in his mind. And it's the main advertisement and poster for the movie, and it's so tame. I just felt that people are saying, but it was simple and we need that. It was simple to the point that you could guess the entire last act of the movie, and I never want to be able to say that about a Saw movie. And I just feel that she was pantomime villain, and he was worse than her when he appeared. It's like, oh, for Christ's sake, right? Obviously, she's tried to call him, he's appeared, he's going to protect, and it's like, oh, please don't do this. And then my husband, the little boy, remember he teaches him the word for pull earlier in the movie? My husband turns to me and goes, please tell me that that word isn't gonna, they're not gonna need this word. And I says, yep. Everything that was gonna happen, he preempted and said to me, tell me they're not gonna do this. Everything. And it sort of showed me it wasn't just me that like predicted everything. It wasn't just he got it all as well. So for me, that is why I found it. I still give it a 3 out of 5 because I love Saw, the franchise, and I loved the whole first act, everything where we follow John Kramer, I loved. The ending just ripped the arse out of the whole movie for me. I would have even been willing to forgive Not Fantastic Traps had they had a better villain and it hadn't been so predictable. That did my head in. Okay, on the next evening I watched The Killer, which is on Netflix, which is a new David Lynch movie starring, what's his name? Michael Fassbender. You know, I can remember names until I need to tell them to you and then my mind goes blank. So, you can see the synopsis, I'm not spoiling anything here. Michael Fassbender is an assassin, he fucks up, he misses, and the implication of that is that the customer, the client, must be shown that this situation is not allowed to happen, things need to be cleaned up, and basically the guys that Michael Fassbender worked for are going to be out for him. So this movie is about him trying to evade them, all his different identities. They do something to affect his life or someone in his life, which it just sends him to absolute rage. But because he's such a cold, clinical, calculating character, we never really see emotion change. I read that Michael Fassbender was not allowed to be filmed blinking. The whole movie he will not blink once because it's supposed to convey calculating lack of emotion. I love this. Tilda Swinton's in it and she's fabulous. She's not in it for very long, but she's brilliant. I give it a 4 out of 5. When it started, I thought I'm not going to like this because it was very film noir narrated, and I love narration, but I have a love-hate relationship with film noir. Some I love, some I feel a bit pretentious. This one, I thought, oh God, I don't think I'm going to like this. And I thought, no, Lisa, give it some time. And I did. And I ended up loving it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought Michael Fassbender was fantastic in it. I would thoroughly recommend you check out The Killer. It wouldn't have been one on my list to want to see, but so many people were saying this is a brilliant film, that this is what's so great about being part of a movie community, that you get these recommendations of films that you might not have watched, but you do because of other people. Right, I am not going to talk at any length. I watched the 5 Final Destination movies. My son had a sleepover at his mate's house. He was away for 24 hours. I watched all the Final Destination movies. I find them really good fun. I love all the inventive kills. The special effects are fabulous. 1, 2, and 2 and 3 I really enjoyed. 4 I thought was pretty poor. 5 I quite enjoyed, but is it the 3D one? 4? That's the worst one by far. I know they're nothing earth-moving, ground-shattering or anything. Earth-shattering. Anyway, I've got that the wrong way around. Never mind. I enjoy them. I like the special effects. I like the deaths. I swear to God, somebody is there's someone out there just like me, because my main real fears that really get me going is roller coasters. I always think I'm going to die when I'm on them. So I don't go on them. I went on the Guardians of the Galaxy one on Epcot and I thought I was going to die the whole time. I'm terrified of heights. We've got that bridge collapse thing. What was the other ones? There's things that just are torture for me to watch. The plane crash. I don't like flying. I always, when the slightest little thing happens, I think something's going to happen here. It's like every single movie's got one of my big fears in it. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yes, I enjoy them. I think they're good fun. I like the special effects. I like the kills. Some of the acting is a bit pants. I'm glad we've moved on from the time that every horror movie needed to have a group of high schoolers in it. I'm glad we're a little bit more diverse now with that. I think it was very like formulaic, but like I say, they're just fun, brain, like just switch your brain off. You know, I enjoy them for that reason. In between that, I watched Exposed, The Ghost Train Fire. I think this is on Netflix. It's either Netflix or Prime. This was really interesting. So doesn't say here, I think it was in the 1980s, there was a fire in a ghost train at a fun park in Australia. Is it Sydney? Sydney's Luna Park. And lots of people died, including a lot of kids. And this is looking into the fire, how it happened, and the fact that it may not have been an accident. And so many people are involved. It's ridiculous. The more you watch it, the more your eyebrows will go up. Really, really interesting documentary. So if you like true crime, check that one out. It's very good. And that is it, guys, because the last film on the list I watched last night, so that will go over into next week. Let me just stop the recorder. So yeah, that's what I've watched for the past 2 weeks, guys. I've tried to keep that as short as I can. I don't know if there's any there you haven't seen that you may now consider watching. Let me know if you were fans of Saw X and Hill House LLC. I know I'm in the minority, I fully recognise that. I don't know why that is, but there you go. I shall hopefully be back next week with another What I Watched if I get the chance. I really do, and I fully intend, and it probably won't happen till next year, I fully intend to do another video each week, either mainly based around how certain movies or series based on true events, and maybe tell you that true event. Sort of creepy content, pictures. They don't tend to do too well. I'm obsessed with like creepy pictures or creepy events. I'm obsessed with it, but they don't tend to do too well when I do videos on it. So we shall see. But that is a plan for the future, because it's my other main interest is like anything based around strange, maybe not so much paranormal, but just strange coincidence and just films based on true events, things like that. So hopefully you will stay tuned for that in the future, guys. I shall see you all next week. Over and out from Lisa Lives.